What's up and Happy New Year, it's Jen Brown. Welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. So if you've seen some of my more recent videos, I've been pretty heavy on the crochet content lately. That's still going strong. That's a hobby that I've enjoyed for about 20 years now, and I kind of go through phases where I don't do it for a while and then I just do it constantly for a couple of months. So I am heavy into that still, and I thought it would be fun, since this is something that I have a lot of experience with, that I do a lot and have been doing for a long time, to kind of share some of my favorite crochet patterns with you. These are all ones I would consider these pretty easy. The arrow one can be a little bit complicated looking, but once you get the hang of it, it's really easy to repeat. So these patterns that I've chosen are kind of my go-to if I want something that's a little bit more exciting than just a plain like double crochet all the way across. These are all really versatile as well. These are kind of my go-tos for blankets, hats, scarves, bags, pillowcases. That's something I've been into recently for holidays, is instead of buying new throw pillows, I've been crocheting holiday colored pillowcases to go on all of my pillows. So that's been really fun, and these would be great for that. I actually just used some of these the other day. So I will go ahead and get into those. I did also want to include quickly here in the beginning some of my favorite types of yarn to use as well. This is absolutely not sponsored, but there's a lot of types of yarn out there, and these are some of my go-tos as far as what is soft, what's a really good value, what offers the widest range of color, that kind of a thing. So I thought I would just kind of share my expertise for that as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so to start off, for my favorite types of yarn, I find that if I'm going to do a bigger project, or if I know I want to do multiples of something, the best value is to buy either Karen brand is my favorite, because they have a lot of colors in this, but to buy the 1 pound yarn. I know Lion brand does one too, and I actually, for the first time, just got this from Hobby Lobby, Crafter's Secret. That was a new brand to me. A lot of times you can get these on sale. I got, most recently, this Crafter's Secret, I got it when Hobby Lobby was having like 30% off all their yarn. Whenever I'm gonna go buy yarn, I always check Joann, Hobby Lobby, Michaels online and see who's having a sale before I go and buy it, because one of them almost always is. But these are usually around $10 for a pound of yarn. All three of these. The yarn is really soft. Those are my favorite for big projects. For smaller projects, I also really love, this is Joann's like exclusive brand. It's their big twist yarn, but I would get the value yarn. The value one's usually a little bit cheaper. I always find it's pretty soft, so I would go with that one. My other favorite, this is kind of like my new favorite because it comes in a zillion colors, is Hobby Lobby's brand just called I Love This Yarn. This stuff is crazy soft and it's almost always on sale. It's a great brand name because I really do love this yarn. It's super soft. So we're gonna start with this pattern. I think is probably the least complicated. This is called, I think, just a wave pattern. So this is really cool. If you want to use like simple stitches, these are all done with single, double, and triple crochets. You can kind of change this one up. You can really customize how big or small you let the waves get. This is really cool to do with multiple colors if you want to do stripes, something like that. So you're going to start off chaining however many you want. I'm just going to do a little swatch here. Then for this one, like I said, we're going to do singles, doubles, and triples. You can make the transition of this as wide as you want. You can do as few or as many stitches as you like. I'm just going to do a standard 3 of each. So I will start off by doing 3 single crochets, 3 double crochets, 3 triple crochets, then back down to double, then back down to single, and you're just going to repeat that over and over until you get to the end of your row. Now what makes this able to still be a rectangle if you're trying to make a rectangle is when we go to the next row, we're gonna do the opposite. So I finished this row, I'm gonna start it with singles again because I ended on triples down here. So I'm only gonna chain 2. Then we're gonna do the opposite of the row below it. So since I have triple crochets below, I'm going to start with single. My doubles are going to go with doubles, and then triples are going to go with singles from the row below. So I'm repeating what I've done each row, just doing the opposite, and that's what's going to even everything out. This one's really cool to use in a blanket or a pillowcase or a scarf or something like that, but I've also used it before as a way to put edges on a blanket, and it has that cool wave pattern to give. It's kind of like if you do a scalloped edge, but the waves make it just, the ruffles are kind of like further between, so it's a little bit more subtle. But this one's really fun, especially if you're using multiple colors. Okay, this next one is called like the waffle crochet pattern, or some people call it the waffle knit crochet pattern, which can be kind of confusing because it's not knitting, but it's made to look like something that is waffle knit. So for this one, you're going to chain in multiples of 3, and then whenever you are ready to end your chain, you're going to do an additional 4. And that's just going to keep our squares even in each row. So for your first row, you're going to double crochet in the second chain from your hook, then double crochet all the way across. This first row is pretty straightforward. Then for our next row, we're going to double crochet in that first stitch. Normally you wouldn't do that, but this time we are, and again that has to do with keeping the squares kind of even for each row. So double crochet in that first stitch, then double crochet 2 more times. Then here's where we're going to start making kind of the part that sticks up and makes this look like waffle knit and look like all those little squares. So you're going to do a front post double crochet in the next one in the row below. Here's what that looks like if you've never done that before. Then you're going to double crochet 2 more in the next 2 chains, and then front post double crochet again. And repeat that down the row. And that's it. You're going to repeat those 2 rows over and over until you have the length of what you want. So the next row will just be double crochets all the way across again, and then your next row will be 2 double crochets and a front post double crochet, and that's going to create your squares. When you're finished, it looks like this. And the more you do, the more those will kind of stick out. You can see these ones in the middle here kind of seem to stick out further. And it looks like you've got a waffle knit blanket. Okay, so this next one is probably my favorite. I think this one just looks really elegant, and I use it. I've kind of been using it for everything lately. But this one is called the Alpine stitch. This one, again, it also looks really cool when you use different colors because you can kind of see the color transition like peeking out from in between the stitches. So for this one, you don't really have to chain in multiples of anything, so just chain as many as you want. Then for this first row, you're going to chain 3, then double crochet in the 4th stitch from your chain. This is like you normally would for turning double crochet rows, and just double crochet across. Then you're going to chain 2 and turn. Do a row single crochet across. Then chain 3 and turn. Now is when we start really working the pattern. I am going to start with the front post in this one. So for this to work, unlike the waffle knit stitch, we aren't going to do front post double crochets. This will start to like curl up and wrinkle really weird. It'll be too tight if we do that. So we're going to work with front post triple crochets and then regular double crochets in between. So I'm going to yarn over 2 because this is a triple crochet, and front post in the row below. Then in the next stitch I will do a double crochet, then my front post again, then another double crochet, and I'll repeat that until I get to the end of the row. Then we'll chain 2 and turn, single crochet all the way across, chain 3, now when we turn it over, what's going to kind of start to make that woven looking stitch is we're going to, again, be like we did with the wave pattern, we're going to be working in opposites. So in any stitch where we did the front post crochet, the one above it is going to get a double crochet, and we're going to do that front post triple crochet in between the front post stitches from below. We'll do that all the way across. When you get to the end like this, and there's kind of nowhere to do another front post, I just do another double crochet, and that's going to keep happening, so it's not going to look funny or anything because it'll just match up with the rest of it. Then again, you just repeat that until it's as tall as you want, and you've got this really beautiful looking alpine stitch pattern. This one can look a little complicated, but like I said, once you get the hang of it, it's not so bad. So you're going to want to chain this in multiples of 4. Then we're going to chain 3 and turn. So what we're going to be doing is making the V part, that's the diagonal part that sticks in the front. We're going to do that first. So we're going to yarn over 2 because we're going to triple crochet, and we're going to triple crochet in the stitch 7 from where that's because we have our multiple of 4 plus the chain 3, so that's where the 7 comes from. So now it kind of looks like you have this like angle shape. Then we're going to backtrack, and we're going to double crochet in the 3 stitches behind this diagonal. And it looks kind of weird when you're doing it, and I couldn't really get this to angle right on camera to show you that perfectly. So it just takes practice. But we're going to double crochet in each of those behind. Then we'll just repeat that for the end of our row. You're going to skip 3 and triple crochet in the 4th chain, and then backtrack and double crochet in the 3 behind it. Then when you get to the end, you're going to chain 3 and turn. Now this time, we're going to be working the opposite way, obviously, because we want that diagonal line that's going to make the V to still be in front. So now, and actually this is kind of helpful because now we have like these markers so we don't get lost while we're trying to work the stitch. You're going to do the same where you triple crochet in this loop that we have in that 4th chain. Then instead of double crocheting behind it, you're going to double crochet in front of it because now we're working on the back. We've got our 1, 2, 3, and then we just repeat, triple crochet in that 4th chain, and double crochet in front of it. We repeat that down our row, chain 3 and turn. And then you start again working behind. So you just have to take turns with it. You work behind the diagonal on the 1st row, in front of the diagonal for the 2nd, and that creates these cool arrow shapes. So those are some of my favorite types of yarn and my favorite crochet patterns. If you've got any crochet patterns that you want to share, please let me know down below. I've really been trying lately to kind of learn new ones as well and sort of add more into my repertoire of crochet patterns that I use. If you like this video and you feel like sticking around on this channel, I do all kinds of videos and I upload on the 1st and the 16th of every month. I really hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.